everyone, welcome to the March edition of Wavelength. I'm here at the Fayette Power Project near LaGrange, where crews from every area of the plant are right in the middle of a major overhaul of Units 1 and 2. At the same time, they're installing a state-of-the-art, brand new control system, which will completely change the way the plant systems are monitored and controlled. Unit 1 came back online the first week of December after a 9-week outage, during which the unit was completely overhauled and this digital control system was installed. The new system gives operators access and control of all plant systems at the click of a mouse.
Any particular piece of equipment or anything in the plant, say for instance plant gates even, if we wanted to operate the plant gates, we'd go over here and pick on the plant gate here, so that's gate control.
Being an older operator, the transformation from the old controls to this was just, it wasn't any problem at all. In fact, I find it a little bit easier to do this job in the fact that I get to sit down a lot more. You know how it is when you get older.
Could you plug it up for me?
Now, Unit 2 is undergoing the same process. The turbine and generator will be taken completely apart, cleaned, balanced, and then reassembled. At the same time, its new control system will be installed. Planning for this massive undertaking, which involves over 14,000 activities, has been going on for years and involves a huge team effort.
The best design always comes from getting to the technician level, the operator level, the guys that's actually going to be left with the project when after I'm gone, Foxborough's gone, and they're the people that's left with the final product, and they were instrumental, and quite frankly, that's what has made this such a good project, and that's what's also set the industry standard on distributed control systems is the involvement of our technicians, our electricians, our mechanics, our engineering staff, and our control room operators that had the direct involvement with the design and actually, in a lot of cases, led the design with our A&E and with Foxborough.
We're in the cable room of Unit 2, and we have all of our new cables being installed for Unit 2 control systems, and we're trying to make the connections between the equipment in the field and get it moved into the new control room.
The new digital control system not only replaces obsolete equipment, but allows the units to be operated much more efficiently.
And the only way that this control system can pay back the dollars that we've invested in it is for us to use it for the benefit of controlling that fuel cost and of operating every piece of equipment at its peak efficiency and not spending money on maintenance until you need to spend it, but not letting something catch you unaware. And so all of those have to fit together to get us to the point that you get the full gain back of a control system like this. So fuel plays a big part. For us to lower the price for the City of Austin or for our customers, we've got to trim off of that $112 million. But we also spend $35 million a year here with maintenance costs and other operational non-fuel type costs. This control system plays a very vital link in every decision we make to manage those dollars to our best intent.
Behind that is our milestone schedule.
This is the war room. Here, key personnel from every area of the project meet each week to share information, coordinate schedules, and evaluate the process.
This is the ultimate in teamwork of any project that I've ever been associated with. In order to get the best product, we saw from the very beginning that it was essential to have the synergistic approach with regard to teamwork.
LCRA and the City of Austin are 50-50 partners in Units 1 and 2. They're very interested in this process and plan similar upgrades to Holly and Decker power plants in Austin.
We felt this was a very important project for the plant as we now face competition and other life extension issues and that kind of thing. We feel it's really important to have as modern a plant as we can possibly achieve.
With the changing environment of the electric utility industry, this system upgrade could give the LCRA, its wholesale customers, and the City of Austin a competitive advantage in the future.
Historically, we have always worried about the cost of our operations, and our systems were set up to support that. Now with this interactive system with an open platform, we can take operational information, costing information, and equate that into pricing information. I think that's going to position us well to be competitive in the future.
Unit 2 is scheduled to come back online with new controls in mid-April.
To help capitalize on new and emerging markets within the electric utility industry, the LCRA has created a brand new division called Vision Energy Services. And we spoke with General Manager Mark Rose about how the new division will operate.
We've tried for some time now to be competitive in the gas business, and our gas hedging and marketing program has been very successful, and there's a new world about to start of electric markets, and so we are pulling this group together, and they're going to be our specialists when it comes to the world of trading in the electricity and gas markets. They will function as if they were an affiliate or a separate group, although technically they're going to be a division of the LCRA. We're going to treat them as if they're a separate entity. And their goal in life is to assist our customers with some of their special fuels and electric marketing needs for their 10% options, and to help us participate in that. It's a different kind of a move for us. It's fairly entrepreneurial for us, I'll acknowledge, but every other utility is doing this one way or the other, through either contracting it out or an in-house service. We looked at contracting it out, but concluded that we wanted to have our own shop. So these folks will actually be moving over to the Miller building and operate in separate facilities. I think the fuels department will probably move over there as well, just to be close by, because there's a strong relationship there. But the fuels department won't be a part of this group. And I think we're going to call it Vision Energy Services or Vision Marketing Services. I mean, as you and I speak, we're still kind of finalizing the name. Bill Freeman's going to move over and replace Ray Schwartner at Tensco. Ray's going to head up this new energy marketing group. Why Bill Freeman? Well, one, he's managed the fuel department before. He already is leading the group that is providing the oversight for our gas hedging program, and I want Bill to continue to provide the oversight for this program. He also knows the world of rate cases and the PUC, and Tensco is still our regulated company with a strong interface with the PUC. Bill knows our customers, and so I just felt like that we couldn't afford at this point in time any downtime or any kind of a learning curve. So Bill's going to move over and take this assignment. Heather Bailey will step into his position at business services. Although the communications project, the TIP project that Bill's been leading, he'll continue to lead that, and that'll go over to Tensco with him. Heather will take his place in the business services. It's very positive that we have such depth in our organization, that we can make these changes, adjust to the marketplace, put an entrepreneurial group together, and have outstanding managers that can step in and fill the other folks' shoes. So I'm very proud that we're able to make this kind of move, and I'm very proud of our management team.
It was just real frightening. I just knew people were in that house and that house down there, and they couldn't get out. There wasn't any way they could get out.
It was a night residents of Sandy Harbor on Lake LBJ will not soon forget. Memorial Day 1995. That evening, a thunderstorm stalled over the Sandy Creek watershed, dropping several inches of rain on the steep, rocky terrain. Soon a wall of water came rushing down Walnut Creek and Sandy Creek, arriving at Sandy Harbor with devastating results. 20 homes along the banks were flooded. Several were completely destroyed. Boat docks, boats, and small buildings were swept out into Lake LBJ. Amazingly, no one was killed or seriously injured, but residents called for a better warning system in case it ever happens again.
This is only a test.
Officials from Llano County and Sandy Harbor gathered at the LCRA Service Center in Austin recently for a demonstration of this emergency warning system, which was purchased by a partnership between Sandy Harbor Volunteer Fire Department, Llano County, and the LCRA.
And it was something that LCRA felt was a good opportunity for us to get involved with, and so we certainly have the technical expertise to lend service to them, and we're also going to go through, because we have the equipment and everything, and do the installation for them. They're going to do the maintenance afterwards, and so what we're doing here is doing all the upfront work, and then they will continue to take care of it afterwards, they being the Sandy Harbor Volunteer Fire Department and Llano County.
This will save lives. I mean, this is wonderful. People can hear this in their house. Before, there were people asleep in their house and they woke up and there was 2 feet of water in their house. I mean, this way they can hear it and have 20, 30 minutes advance warning, you know, and get out to the higher ground.
LCRA crews pulled up to the Sandy Harbor Fire Department recently to install the new system, which will rest high atop this utility pole. Officials plan to use it to warn residents not only about flash floods, but also for tornadoes, fires, and other emergencies.
For just simple warnings, we can also use a public address system. In other words, during the alert phase, say of a tornado alert, or during the alert phase of flooding, when it seems imminent within a few hours, we can always get on, if we have to, on the public address system. And with 400 watts of power here, we figure we can talk to everybody in Sandy Harbor and possibly the surrounding communities. We don't know that. We'll find out.
This is what many LCRA two-way radio transmissions sounded like just a short time ago. But today, the agency's $25 million investment in a new state-of-the-art radio communication system is nearly complete, and the LCRA is poised to do for telecommunications what it did for electricity. In 1995, the LCRA applied for and received over 100 channels on the 900 megahertz radio spectrum. Now, although many of those channels will be used to service our own internal operations in water and electric, there is additional capacity for over 18,000 radios. And now the process is underway of offering this state-of-the-art communication tool to other public agencies within the LCRA service area. In February, the LCRA installed 175 radios within law enforcement agencies in Bastrop County to help show the system's capabilities.
We're here in Bastrop County doing a demonstration with law enforcement to show the benefits of the system and the interoperability between agencies.
1730 Bastrop.
Skip Robus is one of a number of Bastrop County Sheriff's deputies who have a 900 megahertz radio in their car.
The system in our county that we initially were on, we've had problems with getting out in some of the rural areas, what we consider dead spots. So far, the system that we've been currently using with the LCRA, I haven't heard of any of the guys complaining of not being able to transmit. The radio capability has been really exceptionally well.
The cities of Elgin, Bastrop, and Smithville are also testing the new radios and will decide whether or not to lease space on the system later this year. Ultimately, the LCRA hopes that the majority of public agencies throughout the service area are signed on to the new system.
If things go as we've planned, we hope to have seamless communications throughout all of our counties in 5 years. So every public safety and public service entity has the ability to communicate very readily through LCRA's Community Link project.
This month, around the LCRA, we traveled to New Braunfels, where this former department store building is undergoing a major transformation. This will be the new home of Great American Products, which is moving their manufacturing, warehouse, and shipping operations from the Chicago area to New Braunfels. Great American produces a line of pewter gift products and has exclusive licensing agreements with the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NHL, and more than 100 of the nation's top universities. Company President Roger Tuttle is giving a personal tour of the facilities to Chamber President Michael Meek and Mike Tollison with the LCRA.
This area here is basically where we're going to have our manufacturing processes. All of the products that we produce are relatively small, so we don't have to have a very large space dedicated. We'll have approximately 15 casting machines in this area, and we will also have the mold making.
Initially, Great American Products will employ 100 people here, with 75 of those jobs coming from the local area. Tuttle says he was just thinking about moving his company out of Chicago when he received some inspiration in the mail.
When you sent out those postcards from the LCRA that basically says, you know, would you believe this is Texas? And I know that's quote's not right, but effectively that's what you're saying is that, you know, this is Texas, and it was kind of a, you know, an eye-opener to me to realize that, you know, such beauty and such diversity of land and diversity of people all live in Texas. So, you know, I think a great program because I think it is awakening people to the fact that there's another Texas that exists beyond the one that we think we know.
This is a really good example of a partnership and a joint effort between LCRA and our communities. This is a real good example of a victory that came about because we worked together in partnership. And we're very excited about it, and we're very proud to have been a part of it.
Tuttle says that once he visited the New Braunfels area, the decision was much easier.
And finally, because of the strategic location of New Braunfels, the friendliness of the people, the recreation, and you know, I'm a tennis player, and you've got T-Bar M and John Newcomb's here, and so forth, and many, many reasons, an excellent school system. We just decided that New Braunfels was really the place that suited our personalities and our self the best.
Economic development is definitely a team effort. Without LCRA and their economic development program, New Braunfels could never be exposed to as many companies as we are. So we depend very much on what we call the ally system, and that includes people like the LCRA, the Texas Department of Commerce, and other regional organizations and utilities. Like, for instance, locally, the NBU, the city government, the county government. So with all those combined, we think we can put together a team effort, and believe me, the industrial prospects appreciate it.
A company like Great American Products can have a very big economic impact on a community like New Braunfels, and LCRA thinks it's important to be involved in the process for many reasons.
Ultimately create some new jobs for the people that live in the service area, as well as increase the investment in the community. When a new business such as Great American Products here comes into a community, they have a very beneficial effect on the economy in terms of the direct new jobs that this business will hire, in this case about 100, and then there are a lot of indirect jobs that will spring up in the local economy that service this facility. And then in addition, it adds to the tax rolls, and another thing perhaps that we overlook sometimes is it increases the diversity of the community of New Braunfels. With each new person and each new business that comes in, they all bring something new to the community.
Great American also operates a joint venture manufacturing facility just across the border in Jalapa, Mexico.
Following the February board meeting, General Manager Mark Rose hosted a luncheon honoring the 6 LCRA board members who are leaving. It was a day of mixed emotions. There were many sad goodbyes. But there were also expressions of hope for new beginnings and genuine praise and gratitude for the LCRA staff and management.
This is a tremendous staff here, and I am so proud to have been a part of this. When I came home, 12 years ago, back to Texas, I said, you know, I was so disappointed in what I had found in my home. And when this call came here, and I had an experience with these employees, I said, I didn't know we had anything like this in the state of Texas. I really didn't. I thought everything was like my hometown, which was not very good at that time. But that's improved, and I am so pleased to have been a part of this. I would say to these employees that they just continue to do what they're doing. They are a great staff, and they've got a great leader in Mark. I am very proud of him and every one of the people here, just terribly proud of them.
Well, I just want to thank all the employees for their hard work, their dedication, their professionalism. It's been such a great organization to be associated with because of the employees. They've made it that way. I've yet to meet one that I'm not proud to be associated with. I appreciate their professionalism, their hard work, their expertise, and most of all, I think their graciousness to me and to other board members in explaining things to us and helping us understand things and just showing us around, and we really appreciate that. It's been a tremendous experience for me to be on the board, a tremendous challenge, and I think that I know that I've grown from it and gained from it, and also gained from knowing all the great people here.
My feelings are very mixed, obviously, because I just love this place so much, and I will miss it tremendously. But I think the final thought that I would leave with the employees is what I most feel in my heart, and that's that the folks here at the LCRA have had to meet so many challenges just to stay here and be here and make this place the wonderful place that it is. And I think that is what has been my inspiration in trying to be the type of board member that could accept the challenge of the work you all do and provide the kind of leadership that y'all deserve. And I really have enjoyed it.
I said I love to look back and see 12 years ago what it was like and what it is like today. Jack went on, he was here for 6 years, so I've been around for 12 years through his 6 years and my 6 years. And it is remarkable, the accomplishments. And of course, the groundwork was laid way back. Jack did a lot of good work for LCRA and laid a lot of groundwork and got Mark hired, which was the big thing. Mark Rose is a wonderful leader because he looks to the future. He doesn't just look for the present. And I think that the boards, I've seen them come and go and come in with a lot of party loyalties, and they were, thinking of that mostly. And then after a year, they want to do what's best for LCRA. They realize they were appointed to make the policy and to direct the LCRA, and that their main thought on every vote was what is best for LCRA. And when you think of what's best for LCRA, that is what is best for its customers and the people that live in the Colorado River Valley. And that is why this is such a great organization, because it serves the people, the ratepayers, the electric users, the water users, and all the people.
Governor George W. Bush has appointed 5 new board members with 1 more appointment still to come. We'll introduce you to the new members of the LCRA board on the next Wavelength.
And look at this as well. The floodgates are open throughout the hill country and the water's heading toward Austin. Good evening, everyone. Rushing rivers, rising lakes, and flooded roads, all caused by heavy rains in the hill country.
Austin could soon feel the effects. Here's why. You're looking at Wirtz Dam on Lake LBJ. All 6 floodgates are open. The rushing water is causing quite a bit of damage downstream. Several boat docks near Marble Falls are already underwater. Folks in Kingsland have been warned to move to higher ground. Some of that water has already reached Lake Austin.
We do have some important information from the LCRA. We'll be passing along to you about the rising level of Lake Travis. It could hit 690 by Saturday morning. We haven't seen a level like that since the Christmas floods subsided early in 1992. More on the weather coming up. Robert.
As you mentioned, the Llano River is flooding this afternoon. It was nearly 30 feet above the flood stage. We want to go there live now, and News 36's David Harder in downtown Llano with the latest. David?
Well, Robert, if you take a look behind me, you can see just how high the Llano River is. It's crested right about 30 feet above its normal level, and this is the second time in less than 6 months that this river has reached this stage. But it's not the only river in the area that's pouring out of its banks.
This is just one of many road closed signs posted throughout Llano, Mason, and Gillespie counties. Here, surging creek waters destroyed the pavement, trapping road crews on the far side and preventing Laureen Wilkinson from going home.
And this is just the price you pay for living in the hill country. That's what my sister said when half her yard's washed away. She said that's just the price you pay for living on the river.
The Pedernales River near the LBJ National Park is also flooding, but it's not high enough to stop these kayakers who don't mind the signs.
Whitewater is wonderful, and unfortunately, the only time it's up in Texas is when things are in flood.
When you're out in the main channel, it's okay. It's the fences and that kind of stuff, the electrified fences, that can be bad.
The kayakers would never dream of running the Llano River. At this stage, it can tear away anything in its path. So people here are watching and wondering just how high it will go.
Now, so far there have been no reports of injuries because of this river or any of those other rivers at flood stage, but just a moment ago a county commissioner told me that the communities of Sunrise Beach and right in that area are having some problems because of the rising waters. Robert?
Thanks, David. If you've forgotten what the lakes looked like last October when we had the flooding back then, the LCRA says you're about to get a reminder. Remember what the lakes look like today. They're changing before our eyes.
We're still on the rising side of this thing.
This thing is changing the look of our lakes.
By 6 o'clock tonight, the lake's going to be coming up probably a couple inches an hour, and by midnight, maybe as much as 6 inches an hour.
Up until now, Lake Austin was low, in contrast to a brimming Lake Travis. Then Mother Nature and the LCRA stepped in.
We had planned to start those at 6, but with the continued rise on the Llano River, we feel we can't wait that long.
Now drastic and speedy changes are flowing into Lake Austin.
By Saturday morning, or maybe even dark tomorrow night, the water's going to be back up to the normal elevation up here and, you know, up where it should be on those piers over there under the restaurant.
That means the battle against duckweed, fueled by low water, is over.
We've probably, in essence, mowed the lawn. I expect a lot of it's going to be back before too long, but I think at least in that regard, you know, we've done some trimming.
If you're planning a dry riverbed walk, plan again. The river's edge is moving out. And if you've waited until now to clean or repair your dock,
well, they can finish their work underwater, I guess, unfortunately, because there's just nothing we can do.
What they can do is warn anyone living on or near the lakes that clearing skies do not mean you're in the clear.
Just because the sun's shining doesn't mean the creeks aren't going to rise.
Good evening. Rain, rain, go away.
That seems to be the chant across central Texas tonight. The ground is saturated. Lakes Travis and Buchanan are full, and more rain, heavier rain, may be on the way. News 36's Claire Radke joins us now live from the banks of Lake Austin. And Claire, there's a warning out tonight for people who live out there.
There certainly is, Robert, and that's because the lake levels could be changing out here, in some cases dramatically. That's because tomorrow morning at 6, the Lower Colorado River Authority will be opening at least 2 floodgates at Mansfield Dam. What that means is the lake levels in Lake Austin could rise as much as 10 feet just below the dam. Out here, much closer to town, probably won't see much difference. But all this could change and get even worse if we have more rain. This is the stuff worries are made of. Rain. Lots of rain that just doesn't seem to want to quit. Near the town of Bastrop, the Colorado is muddy and full. But Bobby Jenkins is ready for more. His house is on stilts now. He learned his lesson from the last flood here.
Get in your boat and you come to my house, and we're going to sit on the porch, drink mint juleps, and watch the flood go by.
At the other end, on Lake LBJ, Price Brock hopes he won't have to watch another flood go by. 2 years ago, his living room floor looked more like a mud carpet. He barely escaped. This time he's ready with a weather radio. This time he hopes to get the warning in time.
The test button is pushed.
And there'll be 2 gates open beginning at 6 a.m.
But perhaps no one is more nervous than the folks here. This is the Lower Colorado River Authority's Emergency Operations Room. On this monitor, they watch the rivers and creeks as they rise. And here, they watch the rain as it falls.
I guess I'd say we're at the worrying stage. It's very wet, it's wet everywhere, and almost everything that's hitting the ground is running off.
So as long as this keeps up, so will the worrying. And if you have any questions for the LCRA, you may call them. The number is here on your screen. It's 473-3200. Workers there will try to answer any of your questions, ranging from bacteria levels in the water to debris in the water. And the good news is they will be manning those phones most of the night. Stacey, Robert, back to you.